I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not ready to hear. Victor Wembanyama is already the most terrifying player this sport has ever seen. Not the best, not yet, but the most terrifying, it's not even close. And by the end of this video, you're going to agree with me.
That's a zone breaker. Wembanyama for another three.
Victor Wembanyama is not a basketball player who is hard to guard. He is a basketball player that the entire sport, its rules, its history, its analytics, its scouting systems was simply not built to contain. And here is the question nobody is asking loudly enough. What happens when basketball meets something it has never seen before? That is what this video is about. Stay with me because the most insane part of this story is not where Wembanyama is right now. It is how he got here and what it means for every team in this league going forward. Before we get into it, I want to tell you 3 things that happened this season. Number 1, there was a moment in the Western Conference Finals where coaches on the Oklahoma City bench literally looked at each other with no answer. I'll tell you exactly when that was. Number 2, Victor Wembanyama did something in his rookie year that no player 7 feet or taller has ever done in NBA history, ever. And number 3, and this is the part that should scare every team in this league, he is only 22 years old. We are not at the peak, we are at the beginning.
You know, you start saying, oh, when he can knock down that 3 ball.
Let's go back, because this story does not start with highlights. It starts with doubt. When the San Antonio Spurs selected Victor Wembanyama with the first overall pick in 2023.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
The reaction was complicated. Yes, everyone agreed he was extraordinary. Yes, every scout, every analyst, every GM said he was every generation. But generational talent and NBA success are 2 very different things. People had questions. Was he too thin? At 7'4" and barely 230 pounds, defenders were going to punish him in the post. Would he survive the physicality? Was the skill set real? Or was it a product playing in a weaker French league against inferior competition? Because the NBA has humbled plenty of European phenoms before. And most importantly, was he going to San Antonio? Because San Antonio had just finished one of the worst seasons in franchise history. No pop-era infrastructure, no Tim Duncan, no supporting cast. Just a young team, a rebuild, and the hope that the alien was everything they thought he was. The doubters were not stupid. They had reasons. But here is where the story takes its first turn.
Drive, get out the way.
Victor Wembanyama did not arrive in the NBA as a project. He arrived as a problem. In his rookie season, he put up numbers that made the record books look confused. 128 three-pointers made the most ever by a player 7 feet or taller in NBA history. He averaged over 20 points, 10 rebounds, and more than 3 blocks per game. But it was not the stats that were terrifying. It was the way he played. He was guarding point guards on one end. He was posting up centers on the other. He was reading pick-and-roll coverages like a 10-year veteran. He was hitting pull-up threes off 2 dribbles. He was throwing outlet passes that looked like quarterback throws. None of it felt like a player figuring out the league. It felt like the league was figuring out him. And that's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is what happened in year 2, because that's when people started to realize this is not a ceiling, this is a floor. Wembanyama came back bigger, stronger, more confident, and with something that young superstars almost never have, a complete understanding of his own power. And this season, he has averaged 24 3 points, 11.2 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. He leads the entire NBA in blocks. He is first team All-NBA. He is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He is doing things the sport has no language for. Real quick, if you're into these NBA deep dives, hit subscribe. We've got breakdowns coming on the finals, the biggest trades, and the teams that are secretly building something dangerous. You do not want to miss it.
Like 2 easy ones, both of them.
But here is where this story gets genuinely insane. The regular season numbers were impressive. Everyone knew Wembanyama was good. But good players fail in the playoffs. The pressure changes. The schemes get more sophisticated. The margins get thinner. So the real question, the only question that mattered was, who is Victor Wembanyama when the stakes are everything? Western Conference Finals. San Antonio Spurs versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. one of the best young teams in basketball. A defensive system built by one of the smartest coaching staffs in the league. Game 4. Spurs down in the series, season on the line. Wembanyama walked onto the floor and put up 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks and 2 steals. In a playoff elimination atmosphere, against a defense specifically designed to slow him down. That was the moment. That was when the Oklahoma City bench ran out of answers. That was when everyone watching realized this is not a rising star. This is a force of nature. The Spurs went on to win that series in 7 games. Wembanyama averaged 27.3 points, 10.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 2.7 blocks, and 1.4 steals across the series. He was named Western Conference Finals MVP. 22 years old, 3rd year in the league. Conference Finals MVP. Let that sit. Now let me give you the numbers, because at some point, the story needs receipts. 3 blocks per game this season, best in the NBA. That alone would make him one of the most valuable defenders in the league. But he also shoots 35.8% from 3. For a center, a 7'4" center, he averages 24 points on efficient shooting, 11 rebounds, and his team, the San Antonio Spurs, who was a lottery team 2 years ago, are 49-18 this season. 4th best net rating in the entire league. Let me put that in perspective. The Spurs went from rebuilding to a top 4 team in the NBA in essentially 2 seasons. Not because of a super team, not because of a blockbuster trade. Because one player is so good that he made everyone around him better. De'Aaron Fox, brought in mid-season, is playing the best basketball of his career. Stephon Castle, the 2nd-year guard, just won Rookie of the Year.
There we go. Congratulations from all of us here with the Spurs, the organization.
The entire culture of that franchise has shifted, and it all flows from one person. The results are impossible to ignore. The Spurs are in the NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama is the reason. Here is the thing that nobody is talking about enough. This is year 3. Peak NBA players, truly elite ones, usually hit their ceiling somewhere between year 5 and year 8. Wembanyama is not at his ceiling. By most estimates, he is not even close. What does that mean for the NBA? It means every team in this league is about to spend the next decade trying to solve a puzzle that does not have a traditional solution. Because the playbook for stopping Wembanyama does not exist yet. You cannot small ball him, he shoots over you. You cannot go big against him, he blows past you. You cannot trap him, he passes out of it. You cannot foul him into inefficiency, he shoots 80% from the line. He forces you to make a choice, and every choice is wrong. LeBron James did that. Kevin Durant did that. Now Wembanyama does it, except he does it at 7'4", with the defensive impact of a prime Rudy Gobert. That is a combination that has never existed in one body, ever, in the history of this sport. And right now tonight, he is playing Game 1 of the NBA Finals against the New York Knicks. So here is the bigger question, the one I want you to think about. Is Victor Wembanyama already the best player in the world? He is in the finals. He has the hardware. He has the stats, he has the moments, and he is doing it at 22. Nikola Jokic is still the standard. 3 MVPs, multiple rings, the most complete offensive player this sport has ever produced. That conversation is not over. But Wembanyama is coming, and he is coming fast. What the Spurs are building a young core, a playoff-tested superstar, a franchise resurgence in one of the most legendary organizations in NBA. He's just something this league has not seen in a long time. The question is not whether Wembanyama is great. We are past that. The question is, how many championships does this man win? Drop your prediction in the comments. And let me know, is Victor Wembanyama already the most terrifying player in NBA history? Or does he still have something to prove? Because I know what I think. I think we have not seen anything yet, and that for everyone else in the NBA should be absolutely terrifying. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe and go watch our last video on the Spurs championship run, because this story is just getting started.